Romans chapter 4. What shall we say then that Abraham our father, as pertaining to the flesh, hath found? For if Abraham be justified by works, he hath poured out to glory, but not before God. For what saith the Scripture? Abraham believed God, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. Now to him that worketh is the reward not reckoned of grace, but of debt. But for him that worketh not, but believeth on him that justifieth the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness. Even as David also describeth the blessedness of the man, unto whom God imputeth righteousness without works, saying, Blessed are they whose iniquities are forgiven, and whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man to whom the Lord will not impute sin. Cometh this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? But we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or in uncircumcision? Not in circumcision, but in uncircumcision. And he received the sign of circumcision, a seal of the righteousness of faith which he had, being yet uncircumcised, that he might be the father of all them that believe, though they be not circumcised, that righteousness might be imputed unto them also. And the father of circumcision to them who are not of circumcision only, but who also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had, being yet uncircumcised. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham, or to his seed, through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. For they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect.
Hey, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakodashe. Much mercy to you sincere brothers out there, man, the true house of David, all you brothers that believe and that can understand this covenant, which is a spiritual covenant, which is something that is of a higher mind, you see. First of all, much mercy to you brothers, and may you brothers continue to grow in the grace of God, man. What I want to do is I want to go over something, a couple of things. I heard some brothers say something, and which I'll be thinking a lot too. I'll be thinking the same thing. And you know, one of the points is that a lot of guys, many men have information, but a lot of men lack revelation. Let me say that again. Many men have information, but a lot of men lack revelation. What I mean is the revelation of the Spirit, the revelation of certain things. Just like when you go to the book of Revelations, this is the revelation that Paul, the book of Revelation, that is the revelation that he had gave John. He gave certain men certain other revelations. He gave different revelations to different men. Different men had different revelations. Like he revealed that to John. He revealed something different to Matthew, or he revealed something different to Peter, or he revealed something different to James. You see, they received certain revelations of the Spirit, and that's why this ain't something for the carnal. See, everybody's revealed information, and a lot of guys can recite scriptures and they might know the scriptures, but there are certain things that were revealed to these men, and it's the same things going on now. Certain things are revealed to certain us brothers that's not being revealed to everybody, so everybody don't have the understanding. And so that's why the Lord said, hey, you have to go out and you have to teach these things, because certain men are going to be able to understand it. Not everybody's going to be able to understand it, or everybody will have the revelations of certain things. So a lot of guys have understandings of a lot of information. You know, a lot of people, they have a lot of info. They have a lot of information. They can put things together, but what guys lack, they lack the fruits of the Spirit. They lack the Spirit. They lack certain understanding. And I just read right here, Romans 4, Abraham was, like the scripture tell you right here, Abraham was already blessed before he was even circumcised. So it's nothing carnal that's going to justify you in this time now. Abraham, the father of faith. Because he what? Believed in the Lord. Because the Lord what? Showed him certain things and certain revelations the Lord showed him. And so what? He believed. Just like the Lord showed Noah certain things. It's certain things the Lord knew. It's certain things the Lord showed John. This is spiritual. So yeah, you could carnally read the Bible, but then you don't have the other side of the spiritual understanding. And one of the things before us brothers, before we really, start teaching the new covenant, a lot of guys, just like they're still against it today. A lot of people are against it today because it wasn't meant for the new covenant to really be revealed for men to teach it. The camps have their own fucking doctrine. They don't have the understanding of faith, or they don't have no love because they're not in the Lord's covenant yet, so they don't have any love. This is the law that's been written in certain of us in these times. So when guys talking about the old laws are written in them, the Lord put the laws in your inward part. That's not what the Lord was speaking of. The new laws is the law of faith, is the law of mercy, and it's a law of judgment and discernment. These are the that's why the Lord said that the scribes and the Pharisees, they omit the heavier matters of the law, because by them holding to that old law, they don't have those laws written in them. The law is the law of faith, the law of mercy, and the law of discernment. Matter of fact, I'm going to come back to Romans 4. Let's read that in Matthew 23 and 23. So a lot of guys are not being revealed revelations of the Spirit. Yeah, carnally, they could say, yeah, the heathens ain't going to make it, or it ain't about heathens. Yeah, a lot of heathens are not going to make it. A lot of Israelites ain't going to make it either. It's the same shit. But what you have to understand, there are certain revelations that the Lord was showing certain men, and this gave them certain understanding a lot of men didn't have. They understood and seen certain things that a lot of people won't be able to see. They won't never be able to comprehend. They don't have the mind or the belief to receive certain revelations. And plus, you have to be a servant of God. So to be a servant of God, you have to believe. So we're finding out a lot of guys, they have a problem with believing. So they don't have the law of faith. The law of faith didn't come until the Lord made it official in the new covenant, where it's a law that's been put in us. But the law of faith goes back to the time of Abraham and Noah and Abel and Enoch and them. They were righteous already with the Lord, and now that's what's coming back. That's what's here in these last days. The righteousness that is without a carnal law. It's just put in you to have faith, to believe. It's just put in you to have love. It's just put in you to have discernment. And this is the Spirit. And when you have those things, you're revealed certain things. Then you have certain revelations. This is Matthew 23 and 23. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint, anise, and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law. Judgment, mercy. There's no love. Guys don't have no judgment. That means they don't have no discernment. They don't really have discernment. These are synonymous with each other. Judgment, mercy, the love, and faith, the belief. These three things. This is the law these are the laws that the new covenant are built upon, these principles. These three laws. That's why the first two laws, the first two laws is to love the Lord and to love your brother as you love yourself. So the thing is, what we have going on is guys really don't have the new law in them like that, because they really don't have faith or to believe that anything is impossible with God. Where is that at? Anything is possible. With men, things are impossible, but with God, all things are possible. So what we have in this time is guys are teaching the Bible with a lack of faith. You see? Yeah, we know that. We know that the promise was given to Israel, and Israel, like we understand that, we know who the chosen is. We understand that, man. All we're saying is that to take this a step farther, there are also other nations being healed by the Lord too because of their belief. And that's why this whole thing about Paul took off, because he was actually teaching to the Gentiles. Yeah, you had Israelites scattered amongst the heathens, but you had certain of them, they really they believed. So this is the revelation that the Lord, he said, I have other sheep that is not of this fold. And this is going into the Gentiles. So there's no mercy. Our people don't have no mercy. They just think everybody's going to die and go into slavery. This is the mentality of the camps, and it's the camp's fault. So in Matthew 23 right here, it tells you that it says, woe to you, scribes, Pharisees. And this is what guys are doing in the synagogues. They were omitting the heavier matters of the law, the weightier matters of the law, which the weightier matters of the law, it has to deal with faith, mercy, and discernment. So if you're dealing with the old law of Moses, it all goes back to this old law of Moses, right? Then you don't have any faith. You don't have any discernment. You don't have no belief. This is what the new covenant is based off of, these principles. It's based off of love, forgiveness, and faith. Where's the forgiveness at? Where's the love? Where's understanding all things are possible with God? Paul and Peter and them did lots of healing. Paul did a lot of healing. The Lord did a lot of healing. He healed a lot of people that just believed. That's why certain men were coming from all over in Acts 2. The scripture tell you that Jews, devout men came, and men from all over came to see the apostles. So you cannot tell me that it wasn't no heathens that came from all over. You just all of them was Israelite foreigners. See, that's the thing. Is like our people, they have no understanding. They're like, hey, well, this guy's a heathen just because he looks like it. Really, guys don't have no spiritual understanding. They have no belief. So in the synagogues, because the guys are holding to Moses too, they have no judgment, no real judgment, no spiritual judgment. It's a spiritual side to this. Guys are just locked in on the carnal side. You see what I'm saying? They honed in on the carnal side. Guys have no judgment, no mercy, or no faith. They don't have no belief. So by those three things, nothing is being revealed to you on a heavy level. Yeah, men can take certain worldly things and worldly prophecies and shit of the world. Like they could take these things and they could tell you all about these things. And then they can take the scriptures carnally and they can know all these scriptures. But it's a spiritual side to this whole thing that a lot of guys are missing. They're missing the belief, they're missing the mercy, and they're missing the understanding. Because the Lord really ain't dealing with a lot of guys like that. He's not. A lot of guys really don't believe. They don't even have these three elements in them. So going back to Romans 4, This is the elements that Abraham was displaying, and our forefathers, they were displaying faith and understanding. The love goes into mercy. So guys really don't have no love because everybody's just death, and slavery, and death. Going into the Samaritan man, the Good Samaritan. Nobody wanted to help that guy that was out there like that. And that's how a lot of guys are, man. Oh, that ain't my people. You see what I'm saying? And what did the Lord's telling you that story, because it is going to be certain people that that are going to come to you, and they're going to believe, and you just going to leave them out there in the street. That's how a lot of guys are, man. They're not from the nation of Israel. Well, it's like guys don't have no faith, man. We're dealing with people that don't have no faith. Hold on, man. Let's read that real quick. So, like, and another point too, guys that say we're not in the new covenant, they don't have any faith. They don't have any faith. You see what I'm saying? They don't have any faith, man. They don't believe or nothing. Many people were being healed and believed on the Lord. Certain men and certain women of other nations, they believed on the Lord. Nothing is impossible with the Lord. Our people have a problem with believing in the Lord when he came, because this is what the new covenant was about. It was about believing. It was about having mercy. It was about forgiveness. It was about discernment. Yeah, so guys got this spirit of just death, and nobody can make it into the kingdom except this, and a lot of people ain't gonna make it, man. This is let's see. Matthew 8:10, it says, and when Matthew 8, matter of fact, let's get something else. Matthew 17:20, and Yahweh said unto them, because of your faith, because of your unbelief, verily, verily, I say it unto you, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. If you have faith, nothing shall be impossible. That's what's happening in this time. A lot of people, they're just lacking fruits of the spirit, because really the Lord ain't really revealing nothing to a lot of people. The Lord ain't revealing a lot of things because guys really don't believe. And that's the thing. This thing is the Lord said to the Jew first, and then to the Greek and to the Gentiles. So you're gonna have, is just going back to this again. I don't want to fucking harp on it too much, but you're going to have the Israelites were scattered, but you're going to have certain men and certain women that are going to believe. They're going to have faith, real faith, not the shit in the Christian church, which that's just a Wygate. but believing in the true power, which is not a fucking wide gate. The Lord said that this is what the broad paths are. That's not where the Lord is. That is the gate to destruction. The understanding of the new covenant is a small path. And this is for ones that really believe, man. This ain't just for anybody that just like Christians and, you know, and just say they believe in God. This is for the ones that really believe in the Lord. And these churches are filled with hypocrites. And then they tell you it don't matter what color he is, and they don't know what color he is. They say the Lord is a rainbow, he's all colors. So the Lord ain't dealing with the churches like that. And he's not dealing with groups and camps like that. These camps, they're carnal. They're telling you they're waiting on new bodies. So they don't have any faith. There's no faith in these camps. Yeah, it's not hard. But that's what I'm saying. Not everybody the majority of people, they don't even really believe it anyway. So let alone they don't see like other nations believing either. They don't even see that because they don't even fucking believe it. So what's the logic behind that? The Lord just gonna kill everybody and all the heathens, they're gonna go into slavery? That's carnal. That you don't have no understanding, man. That's why a lot of our people, they're not fit to be rulers or over nothing, man. They're carnal. Especially guys that are getting praise and honor on this side. And these guys are being honored of the world, but then they're not honoring the new covenant. It's crazy. You see, they're telling you certain men can't get into the kingdom, or they're telling you just because you're not part of a camp, the Lord is not with you. You know, like what type of shit is that, bro? So we're dealing with guys, like the Lord said, we're dealing with wolves, which they're teaching a doctrine that don't have no faith in it because you're not in the covenant. You're not in the new covenant. The old law is not a faith. So guys are teaching the Bible without faith. You can't just say you're not in the new covenant right now and you're in the spirit. So that means you don't believe in the Lord and what he did. So you're not in the spirit. What the fuck, man? It is crazy, man. A lot of people, they just don't have no faith. They don't. And the Lord, he was rebuking winds of doctrine. This shit make your head hurt sometimes because it's like, damn, bro. Like, yeah, we know our people, they're the Israel. But then it's like, guys don't understand that everybody's going to die and go into slavery. You know, like, damn, where's the mercy at? There's no mercy. There's no faith. A lot of people don't believe in anything. Let's go back to this real quick. So Abraham, he showed faith without the law. That's what the law did. That law that was written, it didn't make nothing perfect. Now the new laws that's been written in certain of us is mercy, discernment, faith, and judgment. And a loving heart, man. It's not basing it on them old covenant laws. That's why we understand a lot of you don't understand this new covenant. Because you don't have no fucking understanding. Romans 4:9, it says, cometh this blessedness then upon the circumcision only, and upon the circumcision only, or upon the uncircumcision also? For we say that faith was reckoned to Abraham for righteousness. How was it then reckoned? When he was in circumcision or in circumcision? Not in circumcision, but in circumcision. So before Abraham was circumcised, so to speak, he was already righteous and found with faith. That's what I'm saying. The law of faith, that's what the new covenant is about. It's about the law of faith. There's no faith in Moses, man. There's no faith in that old covenant. There's no faith in the old covenant. Philippians 3:9, it says, and be found in him, not having my own righteousness, which is of the law, but that which is through faith of the anointed, the righteousness which is of God by faith. So this is by the law of faith. That's what's been written in us. The spirit of faith, the law of faith, the spirit of mercy. The reason the Lord said these guys omit the heavier matters of the law, because they don't have the heavier matters of the law, the new law of the new covenant, man. man, guys are just, they don't have no fucking understanding. Salakia. Galatians 3:11, it says, but no man is justified by the law in the sight of power, for it is evident the just shall live by faith. This whole thing is of faith. This thing ain't of no, it's not carnal. So you saying guys teaching, and then they don't understand that anything is possible to certain men that believe. And like I said, all men don't even fucking believe. They don't have no understanding. So guys may have all this information, but then they don't have the revelations to actually understand that certain men are going to have, the Lord's going to have mercy on certain men. Galatians 3:12, and the law is not of faith. The law is not of faith. That is why the Lord said that too in Matthew 23, is that the old law, it was not of faith. It wasn't something that law wasn't predicated. It wasn't built off of faith. It was built on carnal commandments that our people, those were guidelines and shit that you had to live by, so you don't do carnal things. That's why understanding Abraham, he was showing you that it was a righteousness before that law even was manifested, the law of Moses. So now when the Lord came, like it tells you in Romans, that a righteousness without the law has been manifested. Now you have to understand this. You have to understand this because a lot of guys are basing their understanding off the old law. Now understanding that the new law is totally based off faith, which Abraham showed you that in the beginning. Noah showed you that in the beginning. They were doing those things that was right to do in the beginning. But guys don't get it. So they're basing their righteousness off the law. And it's set up that way. But a righteousness has been manifested without the law, and this is the law of faith. It's a certain type of understanding. And so certain things that's being revealed, going back to things being revealed, a lot of guys, certain things ain't being revealed to guys because they don't really have love or faith. So certain things you're not going to be able to understand. So that all goes back to, that's why the Lord said that when the elect are being sealed, they're being sealed in their mind because they have the faith and the love to actually understand the other side of the spirit. Now it's a side to this that has nothing to do with the flesh, which a lot of guys can't get to because they don't have real belief or mercy. Where's the mercy on men that actually believe, that people that believe? So you ain't going to show men mercy that believe in the Lord, that actually believe? We're not saying just every random person that say they believe in the Lord, the ones that actually believe. A lot of guys that are teaching, they don't even believe themselves. So yes, how can they understand the mystery of the Gentiles really like that? How can they understand that? How can you really understand the new covenant? And a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys are holding to Moses. How can you understand spiritual things if you can't let the carnal things go? So Abraham, he was of faith before the law. Galatians 3:12, and the law is not of faith. You see, and the law is not of faith. The law of faith is being written. That's what the new covenant is about. Faith has been written in certain men. Mercy has been written in certain men. A lot of guys don't have mercy and faith written in them because the old law omits that. Guys that are holding to the old law, they are omitting mercy and faith and belief. So they can't understand the whole understanding of the Gentiles. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That's why the new covenant it's an exclusive covenant for men that are actually of God, bro. So a lot of guys are not actually of God. They just covet to teach it, but then they don't have the faith. And this is how you really see people, man. Let's go back to this real quick. Let's go back to this. Romans 4. And he had received the sign of circumcision and the seal of righteousness of the faith which he had yet, being uncircumcision, that he might be the father of them that believe. This is after the fact. The Lord already chose him. He was already chosen already of God. Abraham was. That's why a lot of guys, they don't have the faith of Abraham. They need something carnal to justify, like to show you that they believe. It's crazy, man. It said that he might be the father of them that believe, though that they be not circumcised, that the righteousness might be imputed unto them also. It says, and the father of circumcision to them who are not of the circumcision only, but also walk in the steps of that faith of our father Abraham, which he had being yet uncircumcised, for the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. So anything is possible with faith, bro. That's so what guys are telling you, certain things ain't possible because really they don't have no faith. That's what guys are saying. When you're saying, oh, they can't be saved, or this guy can't be saved. So you're saying ain't nothing possible. Certain men can't be delivered because they believe. You see what I'm saying? That's what guys are saying. It says, for they are which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void. Check this out. For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promise made of none effect. So guys that are actually holding to the law, they make the promise, they make the new covenant of none effect because they think by the law is justifying them. It says, because the law work of wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. Therefore, it is of faith that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all seed. To the end might be sure to all the seed, not to that which is only of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. So you make Yahushai's law none and void when you can't when you don't have any faith. The old law is not of faith. That's why God's trying to keep you under the old law, not understanding that law is temporary till the Lord came. Then they don't have no understanding. Romans 3 and 27 real quick. It says, where's the boasting then? It is excluded. By what law of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. But by the law of faith. The law of faith has been established in the new covenant. This is the righteousness that was displayed by the Lord. The Lord displayed righteousness without the law. Paul displayed righteousness without the law. The new covenant is righteousness without the old law, the whole new covenant. But the new covenant is a different spirit that's been written in certain men, which they have that law of faith in them. This is the new spirit that I give them. The law of faith and understanding. So going back to guys having information, but they don't have any, they're lacking the revelations of certain things. Because guys don't have any faith or belief or mercy. Guys just got the spirit on like, oh, well, everybody's going to die. All the heathens are going to die. They're going to go into slavery. That's the same shit Camps are teaching, because they don't have any faith, because they're not in the new covenant. You can't say you have faith and then say you're waiting on the covenant. That's not faith. That means you need to see something before you get in the covenant. And so that's not faith. All right. So, of course, if you're teaching that, then you don't think that certain Gentiles or certain ones of other nations can't be delivered. That's what you're saying. As we understand that the Lord came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And we're not saying fucking all the heathens in the world. We're not saying all that. But you're going to have certain of them, just like in Acts, they're going to believe in the Lord from other nations. What is the problem about that? You had Ruth. She was a Moabite. But the Lord dealt with her. Like the Queen of Sheba, the Lord dealt with her. Men from all over were coming, getting the wisdom of Solomon, and men were coming all over in Acts. And can none one of you say that all the men that was coming from all of them were Israelites, or all of them were Jews? See, guys lack a whole realm of spiritual understanding with the scriptures. They have like the carnal part about it, but then they lack the whole other part to it: the mercy, the love, the understanding, and the faith. They lack those things, so they'll tell you everybody's going into slavery. Even these nations gonna be in subject on us. Don't get me wrong. But guys lack a spiritual part of this because a lot of guys really don't believe. Romans 3 and 21. Let me read this real quick. But now the righteousness of the law, or the righteousness of God without the law, is manifested, being witnessed by the law and the prophets. So now you have a righteousness without the law. Just going back to the time of Abraham. Abraham didn't need the law to show him that he had faith and he believed in the Lord, and he was of the Lord doing the right things. Romans 3 and 26. Let me jump down here. Matter of fact, just let me keep going. Let me keep going. It says, even the righteousness of God, which is by the faith of the Yahushua the anointed, unto all upon them that believe, there is no difference. You see that? There is no difference upon all them that believe. If certain ones believe, what's wrong with certain ones believing? I don't get it. It says, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, being justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Yahushua Mashiach. So the Lord died and he redeemed The ones that he died for is the ones that believed in him. When I always go back to John the 3rd chapter, certain ones actually believed in the Lord. It says, whom God hath set forth to be a propitiation, faith in his blood, to declare his righteousness for the remission of sins that are passed through the forbearance of God, to declare, I say, in his time, his righteousness, that he might be made just, and the justifier of him which believeth in the anointed. Whereas the boasting then, it is excluded, but by what law of works? Nay, but by the law of faith. By the law of faith. The law of faith is in the new covenant. And certain men were born with the laws in them. The law of faith, mercy and discernment. A lot of guys don't have faith, mercy, and discernment to really understand the other side of this. So a lot of guys, you have information, but a lot of guys don't have revelations to understand certain mysteries and certain things. That's why you have to pray for understanding, man. Just being in that, yeah, we know the other nations, yeah, they're going to be subject to us and they're going to go on this captivity, you know. But our people that are holding you in the captivity of the old law, guys are trying to hold you in the bondage of the old law. That's exactly what they're doing. They're not freeing you to the Lord because they can't, because really they don't have no faith or no love. You have to have faith and love to actually be of the new covenant. That's why this new covenant is not just for anybody. It says, therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Therefore we conclude that a man is justified by faith without the deeds of the law. Now check this out. There you go. That throws that old law out. So the new laws that's been written in us is the law of faith, mercy, and discernment, which guys are omitting that because they're not in the new covenant. So you can't teach you're under Yahweh Shai, or you can't teach faith when you're omitting the new covenant. It's crazy. And a lot of you guys in the new covenant, you lack faith because you don't have understanding. Or certain things haven't been revealed to you. You can't see certain shit. And that's you guys' problem. Well, we're telling you that certain things are possible. That's all we're telling you. And a lot of you guys can't see it. That's your problem. The Lord don't want you to see certain things. Romans 3:29, he says, is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not also of the Gentiles? Woo! Yes, of the Gentiles also. Heavy, bro. It's not hard, man. Certain Gentiles, natural Gentiles and Israelite foreigners, certain of them are going to believe. And you don't know who's who until guys, till it's known they believe or not. This is a believing thing now. So you guys you throw the possibilities. Yeah, we know everything was given to Israel, but Israel, all that are Israel, not Israel. Guys are showing that. All men that are Israel is not of Israel. There's a lot of guys don't have any fucking faith. It says, seeing it is one power which shall justify the circumcision by faith and the uncircumcision through faith, do we make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law. What law had the Lord established? Let's go. Let's see what law Paul's talking about that's been established. Guys have no understanding, man. Hebrews 10. And I teach because I know certain brothers get it. I know. But the majority of you're not going to get it because you don't have any love. You don't have any love or no belief. So nothing really is being revealed to you. You're just in the carnal state. Talking about, men can't make it. They're going to die. And, it's crazy, bro. Hebrews 10:9. Then he said, Lo, I come to do thy will, O power. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second. That he may establish the second. This is what Paul is talking about. You establishing the law, because the law has been taken away. The old law is not of faith. So we didn't make void the law, we establishing the law. Even in the old law tells you that you're gonna have to follow the Lord. So if you took away that first law, if the first law has been taken away, what's being established? The new covenant is being established, the law of faith. There's no faith in that old law. We're establishing the law of faith. That's what's being established. So by guys not having no understanding, by men not having understanding, then they don't understand the law of faith or the law of mercy, these heavier matters that's in certain men. Romans 9 and 32. Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but it were by the works of the law, for they stumble at the stumbling stone. Let's go up again. What's so hard about it? Guys just, they don't have no mercy, man. That's the whole thing. Our people, they just lack mercy, man. They do, and understanding. It says Romans 9 and 30. What shall we say? Yeah, we know the promise and the remnant, and yes, we're gonna be ruling over heathens. All right, okay, we know that, but there's going to be mercy for certain of them that really believe. What's wrong with that? A lot of our people don't even believe. It says, what shall we say then, that the Gentiles which follow not after righteousness have obtained to righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith? But Israel, which follow after the law of righteousness, have not obtained the law of righteousness. Wherefore, because they saw it not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumble at the stumbling stone. And a lot of guys, that's why it says in Hebrews, real quick, Hebrews 4. Guys, not having faith, this ain't gonna profit a lot of guys, because they're not mixing this. It's not being mixed with faith, and there's only faith in the new covenant. That's why the Lord said in Matthew 23, a lot of men, they omit the heavier matters of the law, faith, mercy, and discernment. You have to be able to believe, and you have to have mercy on certain men and women that's going to believe, no matter who they are. You're going to have mercy on men if they believe. If they don't, then, yes, a lot of, yes, we're going to be ruling over the nations. Yeah, sure. But certain of them, they're going to have to pay tribute to our people. That starts now. Certain, few, small. It's like our people. It's the few people are going to make it. Few people believe. You see what I'm saying? It's small. We're not talking about nations of people, man. Right now on this side, there are going to be a few that actually believe. Hebrews 4 and 1. Now let us therefore fear, lest a promise of being left of us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them, but the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it. For we which have believed do enter into rest. So, if you are dwelling on that old law of Moses, you don't have any faith. And that's what we're saying. It all goes back. You don't need a breakdown to understand that the Lord is going to have mercy on certain people. You see what I'm saying? Even heathens, if they truly believe. All men that believe. It's crazy. It is crazy, man. There's going to be few believers, and it's going to be few believers. At the end of the day, the ones that really believe is really small, because a lot of guys don't even have any faith. They lack love, they lack charity, and they lack the proper judgment. That's why the Lord said, Paul said, they went to the Gentiles. I forgot what that is. I forgot what scripture that is. But that's what Paul was saying. A lot of guys, they have information, but they lack the revelation, meaning they don't have the understanding beyond beyond the law and beyond the face value. So this where discernment and faith and mercy comes in. You understanding beyond the physical that certain men are eligible for mercy, and through their belief, guys just don't get it. And there's plenty of scriptures in here, man. But I'm not gonna keep going all day. I'll be going all day. But it tells you that all men that believe are justified, and nothing is impossible. That's why, guys, ain't no revelations being revealed to guys, and you could understand that a lot of guys are not being revealed to because they really they don't have no love or no faith. So guys ain't being revealed certain things. It's heavy, man. But let me get out of here, man. I'll come back to you with another lesson a little bit later. You got to understand that certain men in this time have the law of faith in them. They have the mercy and the discernment. So the Lord was teaching forgiveness. Guys forget what the Lord was teaching. And nothing is impossible. So you're saying certain things ain't possible through the Lord? That's what you're saying. So that means you don't have any faith. Yes, we know all those scriptures about Israel and this and the promise. We know all of that. We're saying now, at this time, the Lord will have mercy on certain people, man. Through their belief. All that believe, man. Oh, my goodness, man. Hey, with that, repent to the new covenant and understand this, man. I pray you guys can understand that old law is not of faith. The new law, anything is possible. That's why the Lord said, with man, nothing is possible. That's why the Lord said that. With man, nothing is possible. The Lord was healing. They healed a lot of people. Jews and Gentiles. This is what he was doing. That's why they came from all over. Because they knew like the Lord was healing them through their belief. Now, a lot of you don't believe. That's why a lot of you guys ain't they ain't understanding certain shit. Because a lot of you are carnal, man. Hey, let me get out of here, man. I'll speak to you brothers a little bit later. With that, hey, shalom.